In today's video, I break down the 3 things that I like about high ticket sales and the 3 things that I don't really like about high ticket sales. Make sure to watch this video. Hey, what's going on? My name is Kevin. I'm a high ticket sales strategist, YouTuber, and former pharmacist as well. And chances are you're probably stumbling upon this video because you want to know whether being a high ticket sales closer is actually worth it. And if you're into high ticket sales, make sure to subscribe to this channel, hit the bell so you stay updated for all my videos on high ticket sales as well. So in today's video, I break down the 3 things that I love about high ticket sales and the 3 things that I don't like about high ticket sales. Now, before I kind of dive into that, I think it's important to know my experience with high ticket sales as well, because everybody is going to be a little different. So believe it or not, I actually never wanted to be in high ticket sales or be an inbound closer. I kind of fell into it, believe it or not. About 3 years ago, I actually left pharmacy and I was trying to find something that could replace my income from pharmacy altogether, right? And to be honest with you, I actually wanted to do more copywriting or digital marketing related as well. But there was one problem. I was scared of selling my services, ironically, right? And so my friend, during that time where I was just trying to look for different careers and whatnot, my good friend, he told me to take this really great course because it's really changed his life. He was meeting all these different people, and it was actually Dan Locke's high ticket closer program. And if you feel some type of way about Dan Locke and whatnot, totally understand where you guys are coming from. But that's, I mean, the truth is that's where I got my first exposure to high ticket sales. And man, it was such a crazy journey. I was meeting so many different high performing people. I met consultants, lawyers, doctors taking this program, and we were all learning these concepts of how to persuade and stuff. And then we get thrown into a real world and we're like, great, we're excited. We know how to close, which we really didn't. And we go out into our world and we had to look for our clients. And I struggled a lot looking for my clients, to be honest with you, right? But through networking, through multiple people, because I took a lot of online courses, I was able to, with a group of friends, get on this major offer that was scaling really, really quickly. And my first client was a ClickFunnels 2 Comma Club person. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of ClickFunnels, to be honest with you, but it's where I got my humble beginnings. I went on the offer and I completely bombed. Okay, so I bombed I was like so close to getting terminated off the offer, but at that moment, I just realized that I had to get better. And then I started networking with the top people in the industry. I started reading books like Jordan Belfort's Straight Line, Gap Selling, and Never Split the Difference, which, by the way, I have a video on my 3 favorite sales books for any high ticket sales or inbound closer as well. So make sure to check it up in one of these corners over here. And then 10 months later, I went from bottom of the totem pole to really competing with the top people on the sales team, and there was about 50 people, believe it or not. So I became friends with a lot of these people, including Ty Lopez's old former sales manager, Russell Brunson's sales manager, and all that. So I got to meet so many different personalities and really learn from them, model their processes, and get better. And so after being in high ticket sales for about 2 or 3 years at this point, I want to give my perspective of the 3 things that you should know that are really great about high ticket sales and things that aren't so great. And these are the things I wanted to bring up because no one in this industry really talks about these 6 points I'm about to present to you. So yeah, let's dive into it. So first thing, let's get the cons out of the way. Let's talk about the things that aren't so great about high ticket sales. And the first thing I'll bring up to you is that you only have partial control of your time. So think about it. When you are closing, you are speaking to a prospect for a certain amount of time, right? Whether they close or not. And so you're essentially trading time for money at this point, right? Sure, if you're a 1099, you're an independent contractor like I was, right? You can control your fulfillment hours, meaning how many hours you want to commit to a client, but you are still exchanging time for money unless you have recurring commissions, which we'll talk about later. You still have to work with clients. You still have to meet with clients to make sure that everyone's on the same page. And the truth is, some are great, some suck, and it really depends on your client. Sometimes there might be a minimum amount of hours that you need to work, or they'll terminate your contract as well. So I think that's something that's really important if you really value your time a lot. So this goes both ways. If you find a client that, really values work-life balance, then maybe you can get away with taking 2 or 4 calls per day, right? But sometimes you meet a client that will demand more of your time, or they'll terminate your contract. So just keep in mind when you're doing high ticket sales, this isn't passive or passive income or anything like that. For the most part, you have partial control of your time, and you're exchanging time for money as well. So point number 2, the other thing that you should probably consider, which I would consider a con for high ticket sales, is that there's a high turnover rate for clients. Luckily for me, I've stayed with my clients for quite a long time, but you got to keep in mind, especially if you're dealing with the more earlier companies, things like ClickFunnels 2.2 Comma Club clients, there's typically a lifespan for these products. Every offer kind of dies out at some points. Now, there's an exception if you're doing inbound sales for major companies and whatnot as well, more established companies. Chances are you're gonna have that role for a lot longer than someone who is just starting up their company as well, who is selling digital assets. The thing you gotta keep in mind is that market saturation can happen, especially if your client is really pumping out paid ads like very aggressively. The faster you're gonna hit that market saturation as well. And just keep in mind too, sometimes is a high drop-off rate because of the quality of leads, and that's something that you don't have control over all the time. You don't always have control over the lead quality as well for the flow. The third point that you should probably consider if you're doing high ticket sales, which I would consider kind of like a con, I guess, is that great clients are actually really hard to come by. The ideal place to find a perfect client is something I call the S curve, right? So I want you to imagine an S, and at the bottom, at the far left, these clients are just getting started. You don't want those because those people aren't ready to have high ticket sales people or inbound closers. Then you get people right as it's exponentially about to grow. That's the perfect time for a high ticket sales person as well, just because you can grow with the business, and we are solving the real problem of inbound sales, where we're helping with conversion and scale, right? We help scale and convert those leads as well. So we want to ride that out as well, but it's very, very hard to find people in that sweet spot as well. Many people, many clients, especially in my experience, a lot of SMMA people or a lot of businesses think that they need a sales team, but really they're not ready for a sales team quite yet. And they think that they have a great funnel, but they really don't. So trust me, there's so many times when a client has come up to me or their marketing team has come up to me and we're like, man, we have a great funnel. Maybe they have a great marketing funnel outside without a sales team, right? But when it comes to a sales team, they need to know who you are, why they're booking a call with you. And chances are, if they don't know those two things, their funnel needs some work. And sometimes in those cases, you can experience something called scope creep, where your client wants you to do outbound work when that's really not your specialty, and you probably shouldn't focus on that as well if you're in inbound sales. All right, so those were some of the cons of high ticket sales. Now let's go into the pros, the things that I love about high ticket sales. Let's end off on a positive note. So the first thing is that you're building a real high income skill set, right? And a lot of people are actually really scared to do sales. Like for me, myself, I always wanted to start a business. It was never my goal to be a high ticket sales rep or inbound closer or anything like that. But my goal was to really start my own business. And the two most important things that you need for any business is sales and marketing. So you're tackling the first thing as well. So whether you realize it or not, by doing freelancing, or you're pretty much a one-man agency, you still need to track your P&L, you gotta track your numbers, your KPIs, and do your taxes and pay your taxes as well, right? And if you're on the younger side, you're really building a true asset by investing into these skills, something that most older people or a lot of people aren't willing to do. Also, another really cool thing about it too is if you have a client that specializes in something that you want to learn, so maybe something like real estate or Amazon FBA or digital marketing, you get to pick up those adjacent skill sets and learn them for yourself. And I like to think about it like this. It's almost like OJT, on the job training, right? So I get to learn the sales skills, I get to learn the adjacent skill sets of what I'm selling, and apply that experience to my own assets when I build my own business as well. So that's a good reason to do high ticket sales. Now let's go on point number 2, meeting really cool people in the industry. Now, believe it or not, I get to connect with a lot of people in the industry, some high performance people, through high ticket sales, right? Maybe they'll ask me a question about, hey, how do I design a high ticket program? Or how do I sell my high ticket program? So right now I'm talking to Ali Abdal about his high ticket program and his YouTube Academy at the moment. I've been able to talk to, meet people like Scott Ulsford, Richard Nitch, Cynthia Sandoval. There's a lot of people that I've been able to meet in this industry. But not only that, I got to meet people in the industry as well. So like I mentioned earlier, I got to meet people like Ty Lopez's old sales manager. I got to meet Russell Brunson's sales manager. And also I got to meet very experienced closers as well. And so when I do go on to different offers as a high ticket sales or inbound closing manager, I'm able to source. I actually have built this resource pool to hire the right people as well and connect people with the right opportunities as well. And it's also helped me get gigs myself through referrals. And trust me, once you develop the reputation of doing great work, you'll never be out of a gig as well. Seriously, in the last month, I think I've been pitched like 3 or 4 different opportunities. Pretty crazy, right? And let's dive into a third thing on why I love high ticket sales. And it's really having the ability to have a remote life. You know, thinking back on my pharmacy career, I'd be stuck in this very, very small pharmacy for 12 hours a day. And it made me so miserable. And fast forward to this day, sometimes I feel like I'm retired, right? I don't have to work. If I'm a 1099, I don't have to work unless I really want to, right? And I have more control, especially if you're a independent contractor. You can control your time for the most part, where you want to work, and how much you want to scale your income up to a point. I will tell you this: high ticket sales, sometimes you can make a ton of money where you're making like $16,000 per month, right? And then sometimes you barely make anything too. It goes ups and downs. And for me, this actually sustains my ideal lifestyle as well. And if you have the right offer too, for example, digital marketing offers where they offer recurring commissions as well, you get to actually build up this passive income. For example, one of my really good friends who I helped close a major deal for him, we get recurring commissions to this day, and that was over a year ago, and I still get that. And so that's the closest passive income you'll get. Now, those are my 6 reasons on whether being an inbound closer or a high ticket sales closer is actually worth it. If you're in the industry, what were some of the things that popped out at you? What are some of the things that you learned from this video? Or what are some of the things that I didn't mention on the video that you're thinking about? I'd love for you to comment below. If you're also curious about closing, I'll be launching a lot of cool content on high ticket sales, both free and paid, on this channel. So make sure to hit the bell, hit the subscribe button to stay tuned for all that. And I also have a playlist too that you'll probably be really interested in if you like high ticket sales as well. And also at the current moment, I'm working on a high ticket sales checklist where you can see the 12 absolutely necessary steps to build a effective high ticket sales process as well. So make sure to check that out for free. I'll leave a link below when it's out, and that's pretty much it. Meanwhile, just watch more of my videos about closing. Sound like a plan? I'll talk to you guys later. Take care. Peace.